Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Andrew.
Still a scorcher.
Yes. It's too much. Go away now.
I look really small.
You do.
And that's because you are near.
Yes, and
the
you are
viewer,
far away.
And I am far away.
Yes.
Because there's a girt pile of books there. You can hear them. And I thought it would be fun if we just went through a few of our novelisation type books. Because I've done a blog post today about some of our comedy ones.
Yes.
But that's only still photos and a bit of writing. So we've got a range of things here.
We do have a range of things.
And we've arranged them in order, haven't we?
And transition order, because that's how we roll.
Yes. So what's the really early thing you've got
one
there? And
is...
people might be impressed
Yes.
by this one. I know Martin will be.
Sergeant Cork's casebook. And we have two of those.
How did we end up with two?
Because I bought one and Warren gave us one.
What does it say on the back then?
It says, the television series Sergeant Cork has an audience of millions. Now his cases and adventures are adapted to narrative form by a writer who himself created some of the original scripts.
There he is.
Here is Corky at his brilliant best.
Hello, Corky.
Shrewd, sagacious, unconventional, a man ahead of his time, a liberal in an illiberal age. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Illiberal?
A liberal in an illiberal age. Yes.
A man both loved and feared in a London lit by gaslight.
How much?
It was not sure. It's Australian.
Australia, 6 shillings.
6 shillings.
Because remember he did those trailers for Australia,
Australia,
didn't
yeah.
he? Yes.
Yeah.
Coming to channel whatever it is.
And while we're on the subject of Sergeant Cork, we have Sergeant Cork's second casebook.
So what have we got in this one? We've got the case of the Bristol Mail, the Public Paragon, and the Soldier's Rifle. In that.
I can't remember any of those.
That one.
I think the Bristol Mail one I can remember. That's the one on the train.
That's the train, yeah.
And in the second book, we have...
Isn't the Public Paragon the one where they're going to sacrifice the bloke?
Possibly.
Is it? Okay, right, yeah, that's really dark.
The Case of the Elegant Mistress. This is in the second book. The Case of the Vengeful Garnet. And the Case of a Lady's Good Name.
Right.
That's an Alan Pryor script.
How much for that one? On the back.
3 and 6.
3 and 6. So when were these
Oh,
published?
that's 3 and 6. What's that one say?
Eh? Oh no, it's 3 and 6 on the front.
6.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
1965. When's yours? 1966?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go. Goodness me. They're not in bad nick, are they?
They're not in bad nick. There's
No.
some slightly loose pages in this one, but
Yeah.
as long as you don't bend it back too far, it'll be fine.
Nice to have some corky
Yes,
stuff,
it is
isn't it?
nice. to have
Right,
some
what you got next?
We also have, Warren got us this one as well.
Oh, did he?
Softly, Softly Task Force.
By
Arnold Yarrow.
And he's the script editor.
He's the script editor.
And he was also Bilal in Death of the Daleks.
Yes.
And as we always say, we've got a Yarrow Road just up the road, haven't we?
from here, so
we always think of him.
yes.
So what's
And
these then?
This is the contents page. It says prologue.
That was a good episode, prologue.
Prologue. What in Command.
Yeah.
Then Big Catch from the television script by Alan Pryor. Choose Your Partners from the television script by John Hopkins. Don't Tell Me, Let Me Guess by Robert Barr from a script by Robert Barr. Equal Status with one by Elwyn Jones.
Right.
See the Rabbit, Alan Pryor. Plater.
Don't get those mixed up.
I just substituted Pryor in there for some reason. Diversion by Robert Barr. The Hermit by Alan Pryor. Escort
That was
by
a dull
Elwyn
episode. It was just set in a
Jones.
cave, wasn't it?
And an epilogue.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. And some illustrations, is there?
There's a list of illustrations. Yeah.
Yes, apparently. Can
Well,
you,
there's
find,
the
can
illustrations.
you find an
I
illustration?
can find the photographs.
Oh, photos. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
So you've got
Actual
it's
production
got
photos,
a production
is it?
photograph. So you've got Brian Blessed
Uh,
there and Frank Windsor with a lady. And there's the Zed Cars boys. There's well, I don't really see that. It's not very easy because it's sort of shiny. But it's Brian Blessed, Colin Welland, and Jimmy Ellis, and various other pictures. Sergeant Blackett,
right.
and the young PC whose name I've forgotten.
Sweet.
Sweet, yes.
I can tell Sweet. He's
Yes,
sweet.
He's smiling. He's the
Because
only one
he's
that
sweet.
smiles.
What does it say on the back?
It says, Murder murder, fraud, cash grab, sabotage, assassination, sorry, I couldn't say that, greed and crawling lust. John Watt looked at the files in Charlie Barlow's battered cabinet.
Charlie Barlow.
From the hurly-burly of Newtown to undercover work with the SW Regional Crime Squad, and from Z-Cars to Task Force, there were some right villains. And some good men too, like Jock Weir, Fancy Smith, Bob Evans, Sergeant Blackett, Harry Hawkins, PC Snow and his dog Inky.
So I was going to say, these aren't just softly
No,
stories,
these are
Z-Cars
stories.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's
Right.
a bit of a mix.
Next up?
Next up is Dad's Army.
Which is the...
It's
what
the
does it
film.
say?
It's
The
based on-
hilarious film, it says on the
hilarious
front,
film.
doesn't
It's
it?
always the hilarious
Yeah.
film. Sorry, there's a really annoying fly keep landing on me. Sorry. That's why I'm twitching. Stupid flies.
You're not
So
Jack
it's
Douglas.
Not Jack Douglas. So yes, that's basically the script of the film.
What does it say?
The story of the film. On the back, in the early days of the Second World War, when the Nazi hordes were sweeping across all Europe, a gallant group of men swung into action. They were brave, they were resourceful, they were ready to throw the hands off the beaches. They were Britain's last line of defence. They were Dad's Army.
How much?
25p
25p for Dad's Army.
25p.
That's not bad.
or 80 cents or 125 in Canada.
Oh gosh, you can buy it all over the place. Okay.
So then we have
Hardback.
hardback Crown Court.
Now, is this an ex-library copy, isn't
This
it?
is an extra library copy. It's
It would have been taken out three
yes,
times.
Mississippi. It's come all the way from America.
Gosh.
So yes, it had been taken out 3 times in 1978, 1990 and 1995.
It sat there on the shelf for 12 years and nobody took it off the shelf.
Nobody took it off shelf.
Poor Crown Court.
Yes. Yes. I've also got this as an ebook, and on the ebook version, it's got William Mervyn on the front cover.
Alright, what's it say on the blurb then?
It says, doesn't say there, that's a different book.
No, it's inside, isn't it?
Martin Jensen, unemployed second-hand car dealer, is called to do jury service for a week despite all good excuses. Frantic with worry over his wife carries difficult confinement and depressed by his financial plight, he vents his anger by shouting at all forms of officialdom in the jury room and the hospital.
Okay, there's a load of blurb there. Just
Yeah.
skip to the end if I read.
Right, so I'm trying to where to pick it up from. Polder and his 3 conspirators who turn the courtroom into a besieged prison with a handful of hostages. As events move to a terrifying climax, Martin begins to fear he will never see his wife again.
I looked it, and I don't wish to spoil, but there's something about the end of it where they say yes, this is James Follett, and he wrote. Did he write for Blake Seven?
Yeah, about Star Drive, didn't he?
All right, okay.
I think.
Amongst
others.
Everything went white, blindingly white, as if 1,000 flashbulbs had been fired in front of his eyes. He felt Virginia collapsing under his weight. I assume he means a lady called Virginia, not the place.
No.
Sheets of white-hot flame blazed on his retinas. The courtroom was wiped out of existence, engulfed by a supernova, and plunged into the hellish nuclear inferno of a million colliding suns. The nightmare ended with 2 cataclysmic explosions. It's like sort of an end of Blake Seven season thing, isn't it?
It's like Sapphire and Steel.
Yeah, I just like the idea as a supernova in the middle of Crown Court. That doesn't happen every week, does it? I know weird things happen
Weird things do
in
happen
Crown Court, but
yes. Especially in that upward fall.
yes. Right, next please.
Then we have The Complete Porridge.
Which I have talked about in the blog
Which
today.
you've talked about in the blog. Which
But
is the 3
that is everything,
books.
isn't
Yes,
it?
a porridge, another stretch of porridge, and a further stir of porridge.
Yeah. So
that's told from Fletcher's point of view.
Yes, and I said that there is a slight problem with doing it from Fletcher's point of view, as inevitably there are scenes that he's not in, and in desperate hours, when they're held hostage,
he's unconscious.
He's unconscious because he drinks the wrong cup of coffee, the one that has been drugged. So yeah, they sort of have to fudge it a bit that he's got all the info from Gobber and Mr. Barraclough afterwards. Because I know why you maybe start off, do the first book like that, because you're playing off the popularity of the character, right?
Yes.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, it does present some problems later on when in terms of structure and things like that. Because there was that whole thing about Ian Marter wanting to do the Ark in Space from the point of view of Harry, and then realising there were significant scenes that Harry wasn't in.
Yes.
So how would he know what was happening? So he sort of didn't go for it. But
And we also have a Going Straight book here somewhere.
somewhere, it's about somewhere. All things are about somewhere. Right, next up.
Yes. Then we have.
Shall I start?
I just
All
thought
right.
I'd take that one there. We have Heidi Hi.
Hoody ho!
So, and this is quite a strange book because this covers the episodes.
Got to read the saucy bit out.
Not really.
Oh, cool.
It covers the episodes: stripes, eruptions, correspondence calls, trouble and strife, and Maplin Intercontinental.
Yes.
And this is told from the point of view of a camper.
Who is
In fact, the chief camper,
senior camper?
senior camper.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he just means he's old. He's been there forever. I
Yeah.
don't think it's actually.
Charlie Binns, the
That's a
senior
position.
camper, planted himself in one of these chairs, withdrew from his pocket the small square tin that held his cigarette-making equipment, and began to roll himself a cigarette. He had not even reached the stage of licking the gummed rim of the paper when he was interrupted in his labours by a kind of strangled gasp from the deck chair on his left. He glanced cautiously in that direction and discovered that his neighbour was a narrow-shouldered, long-faced youth, wearing a white flannel trousers, none too clean, and bare above the waist.
But yeah, he spends sort of the first couple of pages perving over Gladys, doing her exercises,
yeah.
and then he sort of narrates the story. And
But I don't quite understand because you get bits where it's like them talking in the office, so you
Yeah.
get like Jeff and Ted
so
and
how would
Spike.
how would he know?
How would he
This is
know?
the problem
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
narrator characters.
Mm.
If they're not there,
Yeah.
you know, how do you know it's accurate?
Yeah.
That's,
And the bit about, I mean, obviously, probably he only arrived Saturday, so we haven't had a chance to look at it properly. But there's the bit in Eruptions where they're on the roof
all right.
after they've climbed down into the
Yeah.
Hawaiian ballroom to fix the
Yeah.
mountain of Pitts Paloo. How do you
It's
know
good.
about that?
I
You
don't
know, so how do you? So
So a strange choice, but
don't touch it.
now for calling all Juliet Bravo fans.
Yes. So we have Juliet Bravo, Book 1.
Juliet Bravo,
Juliet Bravo, Book,
book
2.
and
And
as I said,
Calling Juliet Bravo.
that sounds like a song, doesn't it?
It does.
Calling Juliet Bravo.
And this is all stories that appear in the series.
Yeah. So, have you got? I was going to say, have you got the ones that we covered or not?
Yes. Well, no, because this is the first Juliet Bravo.
Oh right. Okay. So,
So,
this, yeah, all right.
Sort of the first inspector, I should say. I'm falling into the trap of calling her Juliet Bravo.
But have we got a shotgun in
We've
there?
got a shotgun in here, yes, and it only lasts. The guy kills himself on page, and I did see it. It's not far into the book, actually.
Just a couple of chapters then, is
Yeah,
it?
page 25.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
So I would have made it longer than that. But I suppose they've got a
Because
lot
it's a
to fill in.
50-minute episode,
Yeah.
and they get through it like.
Get through it in less
But what's the
than half an
blurb say? So this is by what, Molly Hardwick?
hour. Molly
All of them?
Hardwick, yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay.
So, this is the first book. Police Inspector Jean Darblay had a lot on her plate. Apart from holding her own in the midst of a male-dominated profession, her husband was out of a job, and their new house meant a hefty mortgage. And to cap it all, her first assignment as inspector ended up with a criminal shooting himself, leaving a distraught wife and helpless daughter. It could only get better, but she didn't bank on our small North Country territory being a viper's nest of thieving, fraud, juvenile delinquency. Juvenile. Sorry.
Juvenile delinquency.
And even murder. Not to mention an elderly tea lady called Doris who swindles her employers out of a cool £31,000 and is played by Patricia Hayes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Book 2. Go on,
Okay.
read them all out. Go on.
Okay. So book 2 is settled down into a new job as women police inspector in the northern town of Hartley. Jean Darblay is well aware that at times a policeman's life is not a happy one. There's the case of chip shop owner Peter Zarbo, who keeps more than just food in his cellar.
Alright.
A psychopath on the loose on the wild moorlands. A young Indian girl terrorised by her parents lets desperation take over. Relief Inspector Robinson's reign of terror. where discipline rules until his secret is revealed, and the agony of a magician's assistant with jealousy in her heart and a bloodied knife in her hand.
Ooh. Okay.
That's just Porridge by any other name, that, isn't it? It's
What?
the Peter Jeffrey episode where the Mackay's replacement turns out to be worse
right.
than Mackay.
Okay. Maybe.
So, and the last one, she's calling Juliet Bravo new arrivals. Inspector Jean Darblay has all the firmness of the professional cop, but she is also a woman. With with a feminine...
Is she?
She is.
Oh, blimey,
With
I
a
hadn't
feminine
noticed.
awareness that much crime springs from domestic stress. It is this blend that has won her the respect and loyalty of the men who take their orders from Mom. Jean has domestic tensions of her own to smooth over. Husband's Tom's social work sometimes puts them on opposite sides of the professional fence and spills over into private life. And male pride is at stake when the woman is principal breadwinner. Her command of a North Country patch draws her into a rape case involving herself, the discovery of 2 very different kinds of treasure trove, coping with an assault charge against one of her men, and dealing with an emergency at Hartley Nick that needs all a woman's resources.
All right. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All about a woman.
Nearly done. Finally.
Yes. And the last one is Cagney Lacey
Bye.
by Sarita Deborah Stevens.
Oh, that's a good name.
And this is an American. This is actually an English book. It was £2 originally, or possibly £1.50 recently. And
what's the blurb say on the back?
The blurb says they broke all the rules.
No, they didn't.
One left the jet set, the other a boring 9-to-5 office routine. They were both ready to put their lives on the line to change them. They became the dynamite team known as Cagney and Lacey. Here is the gripping novel that explores their early lives and shows how they learned up a fresh look at one of TV's favourite dynamic duos. Novel by Sarita Deborah Stevens based on the Orion television series Cagney Lacey, created by Barbara Evdon and Barbara Corday, adapted from the telebay by Barbara Evdon, story by Barbara Evdon and Barbara Corday.
So who have you got on the front? Which incarnation is this?
That's the only Lacey and the third Cagney.
Yes, I was going to say which.
Yes.
Well, yes, I know.
It's the third Cagney.
But is it her stories? Because it says the early days.
Yeah. Well, it's
the really early days.
Is Letra Swift.
Yeah.
Yes, it's sort of retrofitted to fit
her
her
face
in
has
there.
changed.
Yeah.
They never notice, do they?
They don't know.
It's very weird. That.
Well, it's like in soaps when the child of in Tracy Barlow, before she did the actress that's playing the now played her. There was about 3 different actresses, and they never changed when she noticed when they changed heads.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough. All right. Well, there you are. It's a big pile of stuff.
Novelisations.
Have you read any of them yet?
Some of them.
What have you read?
I've read a bit of Cagney and Lacey and a bit of Juliet Bravo.
Okay. Fair enough.
And we might have some more books coming. Not necessarily novelisations this time, though.
We shall see.
Possibly plays. Screenplays.
Screenplays.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll say good night now and see you soon, I guess.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.